I'm Sarah from the American Independence Museum, and this is my helper Garrett. Today we're going to be making Johnnycakes or hoe cakes, a classic 18th century recipe that you can easily do at home, on the hearth, or on your stove. The recipe basically consists of cornmeal, which was also known as Indian meal in the 18th century, water or hot milk, and some sort of natural sweetener such as honey or maple syrup, and a little bit of salt, and then some sort of fat for frying in the frying pan. So we're going to get started. We're going to have Garrett come on over here. And we're going to use 2 cups of cornmeal. Now cornmeal can be white or yellow cornmeal. And because if you've ever used cornmeal, it's pretty gritty, we're going to use some boiling water, or you can use boiling milk. 2 cups also. And we're going to let that sit for a little bit so that it softens up the cornmeal. All right, and while we're waiting, we'll add a few extra ingredients. So here's our salt. Dip it in. Good job. And then we'll use a little bit of honey to give it some sweetness. And you can add additional flavorings to bring it up to date to your 21st century palate. You can add some vanilla or cinnamon. Some people make savory Johnnycakes. So it's up to you. So now we'll just let this sit again for a little bit longer, about 10 minutes, and then it should thicken up nicely and we can start cooking on our skillet. Alright, so as you can see now, it's really starting to thicken up. So we're going to get our skillet ready. The skillet has been preheating by the fire for quite some time now. And we're going to get ready to move some of our hot coals out onto the hearth. Now, if you were using 18th century cookware, your pan would most likely have little legs to help hold it above the hot coals, or you'd have a 3-legged trivet called a spider that you could place your frying pan on top of. But since we are home, due to the virus, we're making do with what we've got. So we're going to take our nice hot skillet, place it here, and now we're going to add some butter or lard or cooking oil if you're doing it today. You want quite a bit of oil or butter on the base of the pan. So you're essentially frying these up. All right. Just gonna spoon this in. And fry them up. All right, it's been about 10 plus minutes or so, and we can see this one's getting nice and brown, so we'll take these off and give them a try. You can tell that they're almost done, just like regular pancakes. They'll start to bubble around the edges and you can flip them and you'll see them start bubbling again. Garrett, can I have a nice plate over there? Thank you. you don't have cornmeal at home, obviously you could do regular pancakes, but if you want to do the European version versus the American version, you could use oatmeal instead. All right, now we're going to give these a shot with a little bit of maple syrup. Ooh. And see how they are. All right, you ready, Garrett?
Mm-hmm.
Mom can cut it. There we go. There you are. Is it too hot? Look. How's it taste? Good? And that's how you can make hoe cakes or Johnny cakes on your hearth. To adapt it to your stove, you simply cook it just as you would any other pancake. Heat up your skillet, add some butter or oil, dump your batter in once it starts to sizzle. Let it cook for about 10 minutes. As the edges start to bubble, flip it over. Again, let it cook for a little bit longer, and you should have your Johnny cakes or hoe cakes.